Hi, my name's Rozo from Boxdeer, and this is the Euterpe Synthesizer Laboratories Vertice Analog Filterbank. It's a hand-built Italian triple multi-mode filter bank in a 4U rack mount thing, but it's also got these beautiful wooden hand-etched sides. The build quality throughout is just absolutely stunning. These big Bakelite knobs, huge switches. It's an absolute thing of beauty, and that's true on the inside as well. It's all through-hole circuitry. Stefano, who makes these, sent me these. Hopefully you can see them. They're original 1970s components. Sort of new old stock 1970s components, and he uses these wherever possible inside. So I've actually seen the circuit boards inside this thing, and they are an absolute work of art. So anyway, today we're going to put this thing through its paces, stick a few drum machines through it and see what it sounds like. I should also say that if you're interested, there is a sample pack available that I've made just using the Vertice, because it self-resonates and it's capable of lots of feedback tricks. The links for that are in the description below. So, without further ado, let's see what it sounds like. So, this is the Vertice, and this is the AVP Synth ADS-7 Mk2. It's a Russian analog drum machine, and it sounds massive. Now that's currently going through the Vertice with pretty much sort of everything dry levels. So we've got our 3 filters up here. Each one can be set to either low pass, band pass or high pass, and there is a separate resonance control for each. There's a master filter cutoff here, a master output level here, and over here on the right there is various inputs. 3 audio inputs, 1 for each filter, with a VCA, attenuator and boost here, and that you can get some nice distortion from those, and CV inputs here for the 3 different frequency cutoffs. There is also an ADSR envelope generator here, which can be triggered from this input here. Currently we're listening in mono, but you can set it up in stereo. I might come to that in a minute, and you can set the 3 filters up to be in a variety of serial and parallel, but just for now I'm just going to use the first filter here, and we're just going to sort of explore the overdrive and the cutoff and the various filter modes and see how they sound. Now, there are 3 switches here, and these will switch the resonance characteristics of each filter, so that you get a slightly different sort of resonance. If I switch this up, you'll hear that the resonance gets a bit more sort of drastic. And what's lovely is when you combine that resonance with some overdrive. So if I start to overdrive the input here, and the volume is going to go up now. Absolutely lovely down the bottom end there. So I'll back that input off again so we're not distorting quite as much. Let's have a listen to the bandpass filter. and high pass. Now, this big switch here, the overdrive switch, what this is going to do is engage quite a large amount of gain going into the filter, so it's going to massively distort, and it just sounds beautiful. So crunchy. Again, if you turn the resonance up with this, just interacts beautifully. Between the gain of the input, the filter input, this VCA here, and the overdrive, you can kind of balance the amount of overdrive and the master output here to get just the right amount. Just going to simplify the pattern a little bit on the drum machine. Let's just have actually kick and clap, see what we can do with those. So why don't we bring another filter in now? Remember, we've just been listening to this first filter, so I'm going to switch this to serial mode, and now we've got this second filter after the first one, so it's going through the first filter into the second filter. The first filter is still on high pass, second filter is on low pass, so if I adjust, you'll hear the top end rolling off. And then the master cutoff now controls the two filter frequency cutoffs. So I've effectively got a band pass here because I've got a high pass followed by a low pass. And again, we can tailor the resonance on each one. That is gorgeous. Okay, so that's two, and you can imagine adding a third. But I think what I'm going to do now is we're going to play with this envelope. I'm going to take the kick drum output of this drum machine and I'm going to put it into the gate input. Now, it's not a gate, it's the full kick drum that'll be going into this gate input, but you'll see that it triggers the envelope in a really interesting way and you can get some very cool sounds out of it. So just to begin with, I'll take the envelope level right down, so it shouldn't sound any different here. And let's just switch back to one filter for now. So we've got the single filter here. I'm going to put it in low pass. The resonance out. We've got a clean signal. Okay, and we've got the kick drum going into the gate. Now the envelope here, ADSR, I've currently got it on quite short decay and release and no sustain and a fast attack. And there are 3 different speeds. There's percussive, smooth and slow. So the envelope can do everything from really fast to really quite slow, smooth stuff. I'm going to put it on percussive for now and we'll close the filter down. You can just hear the subs and we'll increase the envelope level. Oh, how gorgeous is that? Now what's happening there is that this envelope is being re-triggered, I think, multiple times by the decay of the kick drum. Remember, this is not a gate signal, it's not a trigger signal, it is the actual kick drum that's going into the gate input, so it's having a slightly strange but gorgeous effect. If I switch this to smooth, it's going to smooth the envelope out, so you'll get less of that slightly strange but beautiful noise that you're hearing. A little bit of attack, so we're now kind of riding that kick drum with the envelope, almost like an envelope follower. Let's engage the magic overdrive again. Okay, let's get another drum machine involved. Okay, so this is the mighty DR-110. It's another analog drum machine. This one is rather special though. It's been modified by circuitbenders.co.uk, and it allows you to change some of the sounds in ways that you couldn't normally otherwise. But we're not going to concentrate on that today. We're looking at the Vertice. So it sounds like this. So let's get the Vertice involved. So part of the reason I wanted to try the DR-110 is because it has this accent trigger output. So before we were using the gate input on the Vertice with the kick drum from the ADS-7 Mk2, but this time we're going to use an actual trigger to see what that sounds like. So the trigger output is going to the gate input, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the screen, but I've got some accents programmed into this pattern. Switch back to clean again. Let's try the percussive envelope. Very fast. Let's try the slowest envelope. Almost acts more like an envelope follower in this mode. Overdrive again. Okay, so this is our final drum machine. This is the Electron Model Cycles. The reason I've pulled this one out is to show you how to set up the Vertice in stereo. So we've got the left and right outputs here coming to filters 1 and 2, and they are set up to be in stereo mode using these routing switches here. But then also additionally, I've got around the back of the Vertice, there's various inputs and outputs, and I've got the output of filter 1 coming back into filter 3. And filter 3, when in stereo mode, will actually come out of both the left and right channels. So this is effectively a mono filter, and this is your left and right filters. So right now I've just got the inputs from 1 and 2, from the left and right up, and we're not using the feedback from filter 1 just yet. So I've got filters 1 and 2 just put in a low pass mode. So let's bring in this third filter. This is feeding back, remember, from the output of filter 1 into filter 3, the input of filter 3, and we can overdrive that, and that will come out as mono mixed with the left and right channels. So you can really use it to beef up the signal. Let's get the envelope involved in this. The envelope has quite a nice looping mode. So it'll just loop itself basically around the attack and decay portions. So you can make a rudimentary LFO doing this. It's a little bit fussy about attack times. Sometimes it'll just stop working. But if you just set it right, you can get some nice little pulsating sort of LFO type thing. So let's see what that sounds like. I'm going to select a different pattern on the model cycles because that one's bothering me slightly, getting on my nerves. And of course, the envelope smoother here will change the speed of the LFO. Like I said, the envelope is a little strange in places. Oh my goodness. But occasionally it just spits out something wonderful. Right, the final thing I'm going to show you is just some feedback tricks. This is using nothing but the Vertice, so I've got no inputs, no drum machine. All I'm going to use is either self-resonance from the various filters, or I'm going to use a trick similar to the one I showed you earlier, which is to take the output of filter 1 and put it back in to the input of filter 1. So you're effectively creating a big feedback loop. And basically you can use it like a synthesizer at this point. So loads of interesting sounds. And the sample pack I mentioned earlier is entirely created using methods like this. I think we'll leave it there for today. Thanks for watching.